Hello all. We are discussing about high pressure boilers. This is second lecture of chapter 2. The chapter 2 contains high pressure boilers. In this lecture, we will cover some points. So, in last lecture, we have discussed about introduction, unique feature of high pressure boilers, advantage of high pressure boiler, La mount boiler, and Benson boiler. Now, from today, we will discuss about Loplet boiler. The diagram of Loplet boiler is shown in display. The major drawback in La mount boiler is deposition of salt and sediment on inner surface of water tube of the deposition of salt and other sediments. The deposition reduces the heat transfer and hence steam generation capacity is also reduced. It is also increased danger of overheating of the tubes due to salt deposition. So this drawback is eliminated in Loplet boiler by preventing flow of water inside the boiler tubes. It uses circulation of steam instead of water. This boiler use forced circulation indirect heating. Figure shows arrangement of different component of Loplet boiler. This feed water from feed tank is supplied to the economizer by feed pump. Feed pump of water is preheated and it is preheated by hot flue gases flowing over economizer and from furnace toward the chimney. Evaporator drum is located outside the furnace. The preheated water from economizer then enters the evaporative drum into which is passed around 65% of superheated steam. It is coming out from convective evaporator. The nozzle distributes the superheated steam through the water in the drum and evaporate water in saturated steam. Steam circulating pump draws the saturated steam from the evaporated drum to the radiant superheat which is placed in the furnace. The radiant superheated receives from the bring out fuel through radiation process. Steam from radiant superheater enters convective superheater where it is finally heated in the desired temperature and the desired temperature is around 500 degree Celsius. Convective superheater receives heat from flue gases entirely by convection of heat transfer. In this process, heat transfer does makes very convective and it is used for whole the economy. About 35% of superheated steam from the convective superheater passes through the steam turbine to develop mechanical work while 65% is passed to evaporative drum to evaporate feed water into saturated steam. The amount of steam generated in evaporative drum is equal to steam tapped around 65% from the convective superheater. This boiler can generate around 100 ton of steam per hour at pressure of 140 bar at temperature of 500 degrees Celsius. There are some advantages of this boiler are it can carry higher salt concentration compared to other boilers. It is more compact. It is most suitable boiler for land or sea transportation in the power generation. So this was Leoflet boiler. Now another one is Schmidt Hartmann boiler. SH boiler is shown in the figure. The arrangement of boiler component is SH boiler. It is like low float boiler. It is also high pressure indirectly heated boiler. Its operation is similar to an electrical transformer. Two pressure circuits are used to exchange energy, and these circuits are called as primary circuit and secondary circuit. In the primary circuit, steam at pressure of 100 bar is produced from distilled water. The steam is passed through submerged heating coil located in evaporator drum. Due to heat transfer from steam of primary circuit to water in evaporator drum, the steam is primary circuit gets conducted. The concentrate formed in submerged heating coil is then circulated through a low pressure feed preheater, which preheats the feed water circulated through the secondary circuit. Distilled water is passed through water drum and feed to primary evaporator, where water gets converted to steam in combustion chamber. The steam so formed is separated in the primary separator and it is passed to submerged heating coil in the evaporator drum. Natural circulation is used in primary circuit and this is sufficient to maintain desired rate of the heat transfer. Impure water from hot well is passed through feed pump and gets preheated in free heater. So its saturation temperature and only latent heat is supplied in that evaporator drum. The high pressure steam in submerged heating coil of primary circuit possesses sufficient thermal heat to produce steam at 60 bar from impure heated water of secondary circuit. The steam thus produced evaporator drum from impure water is further passed through the superheater and then supplied it to steam turbine. There are some advantages are there for acid boiler are as distilled water is used in primary circuit, so there is no chance of overheating of highly heated component as salt deposition cannot be take place. Then another one is The salt deposition take place outside the submerged heating coil due to circulation of impure water can be easily cleaned by removing submerged coil and brushing it or blowing off the water. It can handle wide fluctuation in the load without changing pressure in primary circuit. Evaporation of impure feed water in evaporator drum take place without priming due to moderate temperature between across the heating coil. So this was the SH boiler. Then it was some advantage and the working process for that boiler. Now, next one is Velox boiler. Velox boiler shown in the diagram. This boiler works on principle that whenever gas velocity exceeds the sound velocity, heat is transformed to the gas at much higher rate than rate achieved with supersonic flow. This fact is used in Velox boiler to achieve large amount of heat transfer from given surface area. Diagram shows arrangement of boiler of Velox boiler. This boiler make use of pressurized combustion. Air is compressed up to 2.5 bar produced by axial flow compressor. The object of this compression is produce supersonic velocity of gas is 200 to 250 meter per second in the combustion chamber. The fuel and air are injected downward in the vertical combustion chamber, which is consist of gas tube and annular water tubes. Hot flue gases pass through the inside tube at supersonic velocity, while feed water flows through annulus between two tubes are shown in the figure. As a result, heat is transformed from flue gases to water at very high rate to generate steam water mixture. The steam water mixture then passes to a separator which is designed in such a way that mixture enters with a spiral flow. This produces centrifugal force due to which heavier particles are thrown out on the walls. This separate steam from water is superrated steam is then passed superheated and then supplied to the steam turbine. Water removed from steam is in superated is again passed through water tube with the help of water circulating pumps. What gases are coming out from combustion chamber is further passed over superheater where heat is utilized to superheat steam. The gases coming out from superheated are having temperature around 500 degrees Celsius. This is allowed to expand the gas and it is utilized to turbine which is used to drive the air compressor and the turbine exhaust pass through the economizer to preheat. The boiler feed water and finally discharge around 90 degrees Celsius, and it must be 120 meter per second to the atmosphere. So this was the working of Volex boiler. Now we'll show some advantages for this boiler. It is very high heat transfer and combustion rate can be achieved. It required low excess air as compared to air used. It is very compact and greater flexibility. It can quickly started and control is entirely automatic. It has high thermal efficiency. Okay, there are some disadvantages are also there for that turbine are the steam generation capacity is limited is 100 ton per hour and large amount of power is required to run compressor at this output. The power produced by gas turbine is sufficient to run air compressor. So power from additional motor is supplied to run air compressor and it can operate on liquid or gas fuel only. So this is major limitation. This solid fuel can be used, then grid what may be damaged. So we cannot use in this boiler solid fuels and also required some additional power for motor compression. So this was major two disadvantages for this boiler. So this was Velox boiler. Now we'll see supercritical boiler. So supercritical boiler diagram of entropy temperature is shown in figure and also circuit is shown in figure. When water at saturation temperature is heated further at constant pressure, additional heat is supplied at constant pressure which change the phase from liquid to the vapor. This heat is known as latent heat of the vaporization. Latent heat goes on decreasing with increase in pressure and becomes zero at the pressure is known as critical pressure. This point is known as critical point and temperature corresponding to it is known as critical temperature. For steam, critical pressure is 221.1 bar and critical temperature is 374.15 degree Celsius. The boiler in which steam is produced below 221.1 bar is known as subcritical boiler, and the boiler in which steam is produced above 221.1 bar is known as supercritical boilers. By feed pumps, the pressure of water is increased above critical pressure, pressure 3 and 4. Then it is heated and temperature increase during the process. Usually, subcritical boilers consist of three distinct economizer, evaporator, and superheater. While in case of supercritical boiler, only economizer and superheater are required. The phenomena of boiling does not occur in supercritical boiler. The economical layout of both type of boiler are otherwise the industrial. These boiler are ones through the type and steam drum is absent. Feed water enter in economizer and leave at superheated steam at the other end. The entire operation of feed water heating, steam formation and superheating is carried out in one single continuous tube. Usually power plant having capacity of 300 megawatt and above supercritical boilers. So this is process of supercritical boiler, and there are some advantages and disadvantages are also there for supercritical boiler. So let's see advantages of supercritical boiler. The heat transfer rate are considerable higher compared to supercritical boilers due to absence of two-phase mixer. Problem of corrosion are minimized. The pressure level is more stable due to less heat capacity of the generator and hence gives better response. Higher thermal efficiency, around 40 to 42% is power station can be achieved by using supercritical boilers. These turbo generator are connected to supercritical boiler can generate peak load by changing pressure of the operation. It is more adaptable to load fluctuation because of easy operation, simplicity, and better flexibility. Okay, then there are some disadvantages like although efficiency increase by use of high pressure and high temperature steam, but restriction is imposed due to non-availability of material to withstand high temperature and pressure. Also, difficulty is experienced and in turbine condenser due to handling of large volume of steam. And another disadvantage is that due to absence of steam drum, dissolved in impurities are carried with steam which may be deposited on boiler tube and reduce heat transfer rates. So this was two disadvantages for supercritical boiler. Now let's see next boiler, supercharged boiler. The schematic diagram of supercharged boiler is shown. A boiler in which combustion is carried out under pressure in the combustion chamber by supplying compressed air is known as supercharged boiler. In this boiler, more mass of air supplied by increasing density of air and air compressor. Hence, more amount of fuel is burned. Figure shows arrangement of different components of supercharged boiler. High pressure compressed air supplied to combustion chamber. Heat transfer take place between boiler tube and flue gases which converts water to steam. The steam is then fed to steam drum which further supplied superheater and superheated steam is then supplied to steam turbine. The exhaust gases coming out from furnace is used to run gas turbine and they are exhaust high pressure The gas turbine derives rotary compressor and supply compressor air to combustion chamber. The exhaust gases coming out from gas turbine is further used to preheat feed water in the economizer. Exhaust gases are then taken exhaust steamly. So there are some advantages are superheat boiler are due to having overall heat transfer coefficient of heat transfer surface required only about 25 to 30% of heat transfer surface of conventional boiler, which results saving material cost. Rapid start of boiler is possible. 150 ton per hour generating capacity of boiler can be start in the only half hour. Part of gas turbine output can be used to drive another auxiliaries. Small heat storage capacity of boiler plant gives better response to the control and comparatively less number of operators are required. So this was supercharged boiler. So in next lecture, we will discuss about principle of fluidization, combustion, and another advantages, disadvantages, and location of water tube in boiler, method for superheat control, etc. So for now, thank you.